All right. Welcome. First episode of this Falcons Corner we doing on Fridays. Football content specifically for Falcons football. So just welcome to our subscribers. Welcome to people who not subscribed. If you're not, make sure you tap in. As y'all can see, got a special guest, my boy Marq. Me and him have collaborated on a couple of streams already, but this is first official one, coming on our channel. So y'all make sure y'all tap in with him on his stuff. My boy AG might be joining us today, so if not, we're gonna rock out with just me and Marq. But if so, he'll be in here. So while we get started, first thing I really want to talk about is the game last night. Even though this is specifically Falcons related, just what's your thoughts on that game? General thoughts on that game last night, with it being the first, game of the season.
Yeah, hey, first and foremost, appreciate you having me. But hey, we were super excited to see football again, man. Especially two elite quarterbacks. Pat, went back to back. Then you got Lamar with two MVPs. So it was just dope just to see that matchup, man. And for it to be one of those nail biters, when it came down to the last play, man, it was only right. But to me, man, it just made me kind of come back to earth a little bit as far as the Falcons. It's like, okay, if this is what these guys are doing, what can we really expect out of, this Falcons team, week one with so many new pieces. So I think that was my, that's how I was watching the game, like trying to think, all right, well, Baltimore defense playing like this, and Kansas City defense playing like this, how's Atlanta defense going to look? So, man, it just made me just super pumped and even more anxious to see the Falcons play, man.
Yeah, I agree. I was looking at the same lens, like how we stacking up, because those are two of the elite teams in the league right there, and not necessarily playing at a super high level like you said would be in the first game, but still playing, at a level that I think Atlanta wants to reach. And yeah, it does kind of bring you back down to earth a little bit with your expectations. With it being the first week, you saw a lot of sloppiness in that game. But I still think, it's going to be the story of Kansas City 3P all season. That's the narrative that's already out there for the season. And the way they looked last night, I don't even think they were at their best, but it's still going to be just hard to beat them, especially in Arrowhead. Lamar, I felt like at the end kind of played into that narrative of his passing deficiencies. As a runner, he's great, but as a passer, the jury's kind of still out. Even with the two MVPs, those are just throws you have to make at the end of the game, especially when you're playing against 15, because he's going to make those plays if roles will reverse. So it just show you how the margin of error is really slim in the NFL, especially when you playing against those good teams. And it very well can be something that we see in our first game. It might come down to a toe or a red zone execution. So it'll be interesting to see. But so diving into our matchup, I did want to show the injury report real quick, with it being so key with Russell Wilson. I guess he's marked as questionable now. The calf injury thing still is bothering him. I know Antonio Hamilton for us was marked out, but he's not a starter or anything. So we're pretty much clean health. Landman and Pitt should be full go. So anything stick out to you on the injury report on either sides?
I mean, hey, I'm with you. Seeing Russ on there is crazy. I think either way we were going to see Justin Fields, so I'm sure that they've been preparing for him for a couple of weeks. But yeah, I think just Russ. And as far as the Falcons, I mean, obviously kind of the same thing. Kyle Pitts popped it up into that injury report out of nowhere. It feels like it's just like, damn, especially when we think like we haven't seen any of our starters. So, now to know that some of them are kind of banged up, some are out, some are questionable, I think that definitely does catch your eye a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of saw the public view of Kyle Pitts starting to turn a little ugly, when the first report came out. But these outlets do a good job of, leaving out information. Raheem said it wasn't going to bother him. Kyle said it wasn't going to bother him. But, the only headline that the other websites posted is, limited in practice, and then the narratives go from there. But I agree. I definitely think we were going to see Justin Fields regardless. But now it looks like he may start. It's a stronger possibility than what we were first expecting. So, would you rather Fields start, or you want to go against Russ? Like, how you feel, or it really doesn't matter?
It kind of doesn't matter because both are somewhat mobile. Obviously, Russ has the experience. And I think Fields kind of has a little bit more mobility. He can hurt you more with his legs. So I think either way, they kind of created like the same type of problems. I don't think. Well, I will say this: I am surprised that Justin Fields didn't win this job, though. I said it for weeks. Hey, I don't know who QB1 is going to be week one against the Steelers, and it looks like the Steelers didn't really know either. Obviously Russ popping up late changing some things because they did announce in the starter, but so hard to say, man. To answer your question, I think they both kind of present issues no matter what. So I'm not the type that gets excited now that Russ isn't playing, or Russ might not play. There may be some fans that's like, oh yeah, we get to play Justin Fields. Well, shit, I don't think that is any better. So,
Yeah.
what were your? I mean, who would you rather see?
I mean, I'm not necessarily like ducking any smoke from either one of them, but at the same time, I do, like you say,
Right.
Fields definitely presents a different challenge as far as the mobility. Russ isn't a statue, but he's not really, he's not the level of runner Justin Fields is. He's more of an improviser. But
Right.
like you said, I'm not looking forward or looking any less forward to playing either one of them. But I think if they were smart, which I hope they did, you would game plan for either one, because who's to say if Russ would play, his performance would even allow him. I mean, I doubt he'll play that bad where they pull him the first game, but they've already said they're going to throw Fields out there in some certain packages anyway. And the last time we
Right.
Fields, he kind of tore us up a little bit. Granted, it being in Chicago and it being end of the season, I'm pretty sure the defense was just over it at that point. But I mean, I don't really care too much who it is. I think we got to go out there and play our brand of ball regardless of who it is. And with that being said, transitioning to the first quarter of things for this pod, any key storylines that really pop out to you with this matchup? Just not even it don't even really have to be X and O's related, just anything storyline wise.
Well, I mean, I think when we see the schedule, and again, this is why the NFL is the best show on TV because they know what they're doing. Like nothing's a coincidence. Everything is planned. You have Arthur Smith coming back to Atlanta. Obviously for us, we get to see Cordell Patterson, we get to see Pruitt, we get to see some guys. But I think that storyline is going to be relevant throughout the whole game. What is Arthur Smith going to do? And then, obviously the Russell Wilson in the future, obviously that's going to be a thing. But hey, if he doesn't play, or who knows, maybe Russ is ducking that smoke, Now, but you take away those storylines, right? Because again, we've been talking about that all summer. I think it's just going to be like that TJ Watt, Caleb McGarry matchup. Caleb McGarry had one of his best games of his career against TJ Watt, against Pittsburgh Steelers. And I want to say 2021, his best season of his career. So I think I'm looking at that matchup, that storyline, especially there's been a lot of, I don't want to say hate, but there's been a lot of people down on Caleb McGarry. They feel like he's replaceable. So I think that's an opportunity to create momentum for this season, to shut down that narrative. And I mean, that only means good things for the Falcons if he can hold his own against TJ Watt again. So I think that's kind of my focus when you take away the other headliners that we've been talking about all summer.
Right. Definitely Arthur Smith is at the top of it for me, with it being kind of his return back to the place he was fired from, coach for the last 3 years. I'd be interested to hear if it's definitely going to be a reaction, if he's on the camera or the reception he receives. I'm pretty sure the fan base isn't too fond of him necessarily. I'd seen that somebody reporter asked him about it necessarily. He wasn't really trying to, you know how he is. He's trying to downplay it, not putting much focus on it. But it has to mean something to him. I'm pretty sure he has a little bit more emphasis on scoring points, showing what he can do as a coordinator. And I'm pretty sure the Falcons have more point emphasis on showing what they can do as players with him being gone. So I think it's kind of just like the week one storyline of just newness as a whole, though, because, new quarterback for both teams, new coordinators, like new head coach for the Falcons. It's a new sense of anticipation for the season or the team. I think it's just, week one is always that unknown. And I think that's it's just anticipation for me, though, because like you said, we've been talking about things for off season, the draft, everything. Preseason is just like sometimes you got to make storylines up just to get content out there. And now it's like the content's about to make itself now because the season is here. It's finally time, it's done. It's done talking, and it's time to really put pads on somebody now. My partner said, if J1 starts, it's over, y'all done. Hey, go ahead and throw him out there. Because at the end of the day, Fields is looking for an opportunity to prove himself. And if Fields go out there and do what he need to do, Russ can pretty much wrap it up, in my opinion. Because if Fields goes out there and performs, why even throw Russ back in there?
Right. And it's crazy that he says that, and we talk about storylines, but man, is that not the perfect storyline, the perfect homecoming? Justin Fields gets traded away for basically Caleb Williams, and then he gets an opportunity to start in his hometown city to potentially keep the job. So, I mean, it's funny that, first quarter we're talking about these storylines. Now I think about it, bro, that one might creep up there and might be, like that might be the story, especially if Arthur Smith can, make Justin Fields functional. That would be crazy. That'd be a great homecoming for Justin Fields.
Exactly. And then another storyline with that is also the Falcons could potentially have either one of the Steelers quarterback as their quarterback before, they got Kirk Cousins. So that could be another storyline, It's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of storylines that you can pull out of it before you even get into the actual X and O's of the game. And like you said, the NFL has so much drama. It's like a TV show, like you said, it's the greatest show because the schedule makers know what they're doing when they make these matchups. They know they know what they're doing. Like the Steelers go to Denver next week, so they definitely know what they're doing. But I don't wish for a good Fields game, but I'm with you on kind of thinking that he eventually will win the job, but I kind of figured that they was going to give Russ the benefit of the doubt because I hear Mike Tomlin putting a lot of stock on his resume, but I don't necessarily agree with that because it's kind of what can you do for me now? And I don't, but if they want to let Russ, try to rock out and be the starter, then, I mean, that's on them. But moving into the second quarter of things, any key matchups, X factors, or just in anything in general that you have on our offense versus their defense?
So offensively, I mean, obviously, you're going to be looking at that offensive line. You want them just to continue to build, from the prior seasons and, improve as a pass blocking unit. So I think, that's going to be the X factor against Pittsburgh and their D-line and their pass rush. But, I mean, let's be real, man. It's Kirk Cousins, bro. Like, we haven't seen him play damn near a year, since his injury. So not only can he bounce back from his injury, but can he be that missing piece? Can he be the difference for this roster? Because, I think the quarter, regardless of who was the play caller and the wide receivers and whatever you want to say, I think the quarterback position definitely held us back the past two seasons. So if he could just be average and he could be average against the Pittsburgh Steelers, after coming off an injury, I think, that would definitely be a big factor in if the Falcons will win or not.
Yeah. I definitely agree with everything you said. Got to go line first when you talk about anything because that's the trenches. That's where it starts. That's your anchor of the offense. That T.J. Watt matchup with McGarry definitely scares me, but I don't think the team will be ignorant enough to just constantly allow one-on-one with him if he can't handle it. Charlie Warner was brung in to help chip block, matchups like this. Because if you remember last year, week 1, Brian Burns kind of got after McGarry a little bit. But I think McGarry pass blocking is below his run blocking, but I do think McGarry still gets kind of a lot of flack, just probably because he's not on the level of Lindstrom at the end of the day, because they both came in together. Like, Lindstrom is an all-pro, Pro Bowler, but McGarry is a solid right tackle. Like, our whole line is solid, in my opinion. It ain't too many. Like, I think Dahlman gets a lot of flack as well. He can work on his snaps, but his PFF grades are up there. So the line is going to have to control the game, most definitely. Like you said, it's really Kirk. That's what everybody wants to see, because we haven't seen any consistent quarterback play in a while, or at least the last 2-3 seasons. Of course, we wanted to see how Zach Robinson's offense is going to look, but I caution people, it's not going to be, full-fledged the offense week 1. You got to work the kinks out, see what you like. Of course, I'm pretty sure they haven't installed the whole offense with it being a new system, but it should look way different from last year. Way different. I think they'll still be relying on the run, but I think the passing side of the offense will be way better. Like, it just has to be. So with that being said, then you move your attention to Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and we just want them to eat this year. As a pass catcher, that's really all you want, is just opportunity to make plays. So it'll be interesting to see, because I think this kind of a make it or break year for Kyle Pitts, in my opinion. First season with Matt, he pretty much, looked how people wanted him to look coming out the draft, besides the touchdown numbers. Second year, he got hurt, and then last year we found out at the end he was playing through the injury, and then just the quarterback play just wasn't there as a whole anyway. So now this year, he said he's healthy, and you got the quarterback, and theoretically you got, the coordinator. So I think that everything is adding up for him to have a monster year. Drake has kind of been, he's been doing his thing since he got here, but not at the level of the first wide receiver drafted. But not necessarily that's a factor of him, though, just like I said, quarterback play. So I think with Kurt, he should take off. And that's really matchups I see, though. Like the offensive line, we can keep the run game going and keep the pass rush pretty clean from their side. I think we can eat on that secondary, in my opinion. Minka and Joey Porter Jr., if they want to let him travel with Drake, I still like our chances. Like, Joey Porter's a hell of a player, but I don't think he's just erasing Drake out the game completely, in my opinion. I think slot-wise, we should eat, though, in my opinion. If they want to put Kyle in the slot, or if they want to put Drake in the slot, hell, I think we can eat there. But the run game really is what I want to see, if we can, get physical on the O-line and push them back. So, let me see. Moving on with the defense, our defense against their offense, and how you think we match up there. Do you think you like our chances with this better, or do you really want us on offense more? Like, what you feeling with the kickoff? You want us to defer, receive? What you like?
Oh, hey, well, I'm a guy that always want to kick. I want to get that ball in the second half. I want to try to, get that. I want to double up, try to score, right before the half, get the ball back, score again. I think they call that the I can't remember the exact terminology, but again, to be able to score before halftime and get the ball right back, I mean, that's huge. So I obviously want to put our defense out there first, hopefully build some momentum, get a stop. And I think it's possible, man. We know that Pittsburgh, they want to run the ball. Traditionally, they want to run the ball. And traditionally, the Falcons have typically been a good run-stopping team. I think we definitely have the pieces. We obviously have the interior defensive alignment to stop the run. So I feel confident that, we'll be able to, manage and hold them from, beating us up on the ground. And then that turns to Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and I'm not really scared of them to beat me through the air. Not really. But at the same time, I wasn't worried about a lot of quarterbacks over the past couple of seasons. and we made every quarterback look like damn Joe Montana. So
yeah,
I think that's where I'm at, man. Obviously, I think everybody in the world knows it. Arthur Smith knows it. The fan base knows it. Mike Tomlin know it. Raheem Morris know it. We got to stop the run. And even with our cornerback too, I still feel really good about the matchups. You got George Pickens outside. I think AJ can hold his own, but they'll probably move Pickens around. So I think that's where my attention will be, is how will Raheem Morris use AJ Terrell? Will he have him shadowing guys? I think when you get $80 million, or however much he got, you getting paid $20 million a year, you probably got to start shadowing guys. So if we put AJ on George Pickens, I feel good about our chances of stopping the run and then, again, limiting their passing attack.
most definitely. I was just about to ask you, would you let AJ shadow? So I'm glad you went ahead and, suggested it, especially with the pay he just received. Out of your Falcon mind, fellas, about that time, most definitely.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you check those guys out. Dave said, "Good evening, guys. Good evening. Good evening." What I was about to say about this defensive matchup. Oh, definitely, like you say, everybody know in the world that they want to run. Arthur Smith, we shouldn't be caught off guard by anything that Arthur Smith does. Like, if anybody knows him, it's us, because we've had him as our play caller for the last 3 years. And even coming out of Tennessee, he's a run heavy guy. And I honestly think that's going to have to kind of be Pittsburgh's best chance. I don't know how often they really want to drop back with Russ or Justin Fields, because that receiving core isn't really good, in my opinion. You have George Pickens, like you said, and I think he's kind of a young standout in the league, but nothing about their offense necessarily scares me. They don't have that Tyreek Hill or Jefferson on the other side that, we have to really, really, really game plan to stop. I think, like you said, put AJ on Pickens, and I feel comfortable with whatever goes on. I can live with that. AJ, you have Pickens. Let's stop the run. Let's get in third and long situation. Can we rush the passer? That's really the biggest question for me. Like you said, we're stout on the interior. So I knew from the get-go, once we kind of made those interior moves, we should be good against the run. I like our linebackers. Our corners and our safeties are pretty decent or good tacklers, so we should be good in that aspect. It's really, can we rush the passer? So do you feel comfortable with the pass rush right about now? I think last time we spoke, we didn't have Judon yet. So do you feel comfortable now with that, or how do you rate that?
I mean, I feel better. I mean, like you said, there's so many new pieces, man. It's so hard to tell, man. I would be lying if I said I was comfortable. Especially, again, watching last night's game. You see these guys in the same scheme, and they're still rusty. They're still this or so that. So I feel better, especially like you said, since the last time we talked, we were talking about adding Justin Simmons, potentially adding a pass rusher, and then that's literally what we did. I feel like 48 hours later, it felt like because I remember we was going back and forth on X for a second. We were like, damn, we just talked this up. But but yeah, I feel better adding Judon, but it's still so much unknown, man. Like, I'll say this though, regardless of the pass rush, I still feel good about our pass defense against the Steelers. Like, I still think we'll be able to do enough.
Right. And like this comment by Dave, he says, I believe the Steelers are going to attack the Falcons linebackers. I feel like if you do attack our defense, that kind of would be the spot, just knowing how most offenses operate, or how Arthur Smith likes to, those in-breaking routes over the middle. But I feel good with our linebackers, though. Troy Anderson, if he's back out there, he's theoretically supposed to be a good coverage linebacker. We haven't really seen much of him yet, but I'm hoping this year can be that breakout year for him. Nate Landman, much more of a run stuffer. So it'll be interesting to see how they want to work that out with those three linebackers, because I know Caden Ellis, they want to kind of get him more in the pass rush element this year as well. But if they want to bring Richie in sometimes in the big nickel situation, or, you know, I'm comfortable with it. Fryermuth, he is a good tight end, but like you said, we brought in Simmons, we got Bates. So however they want to do that, I feel like we have the answer. It's really just gonna be to me, once again, the line of scrimmage, the pass rush. But like you said, I feel comfortable with our back end to where I think we can get a few covered sacks because we know Russ and Fields like to hold the ball slight too long. Now the difference, if Fields is the starter, can we control that scrambling aspect? Do you think we have an answer for that? Because theoretically, again, Troy Anderson should be that spy type of linebacker that we need. But as we all know, the Falcons have not done well with scrambling quarterbacks in the recent history or since I've been watching. So what you think they do for the Fields element?
Yeah, I mean, luckily for us, he burnt us last year. Like him, exactly. Like the exact guy we were going to go against. Unfortunately, he's with a new team, and he's with the guy he burnt. So when you add up all that, I don't know what that means for the Falcons. I don't know what that means for Pittsburgh. But like you said, man, when you look at history, we struggle with mobile quarterbacks. We know we just struggle defensively, man. Like we just haven't been a good defensive team. So it's just so hard to say, bro. After week one, we're gonna be anything. Like if anything, I think this would be a good opportunity for us to start to chip away and be better. Like you said, we got Troy. Okay, you can spy. Then you got Judon, and you got guys like Brandon Doyle. You got guys that can kind of set the edge and contain a little bit. We have better pieces to stop running quarterbacks, better pieces to stop tight ends, better pieces. But at the end of the day, you got to have experience doing it. Like, I just can't think of a time, bro, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of a time when a team's just traditionally been bad at something, and then all of a sudden they're just excellent at it the next season. I just think teams have identities. Teams believe in whatever they believe in, regardless of coaching, and it just takes time for that identity to come to fruition. I mean, we saw it with Dan Quinn. It took a good year. There was ups and downs until they can, build. And then even 2016, the defense still wasn't good. I mean, great for like 10 weeks.
Right.
They weren't good until he took over as a defensive coordinator. So that's a long answer, obviously, to say, I just don't know, bro. I've been so scarred, bro. You said the Falcons have been able to stop mobile quarterbacks in your lifetime, bro. I'm 30 years old. I have not seen us contain a mobile quarterback. I haven't seen us stop the running back passes underneath. I haven't. Like, there's a couple things I just haven't seen in 30 years of watching this team. So, I'm hoping that some of our weaknesses are becoming a point of emphasis, and then that, week one, we somehow, tackle, some of our pain points over the past couple seasons.
No, facts. Dave says Zach Robinson confirmed that he will be in the booth instead of the sideline. I hope Coach Lake will at least be on the sideline. Yeah, Zach Robinson spoke about, with Kirk kind of being that veteran, he didn't really feel the need to be on the field. Speaking of Coach Lake, that's another, new coordinator that we have. It'll be interesting to see, his defense and what he necessarily tries to implement. It won't be the Ryan Nielsen defense that we had last year. Still, yeah, most definitely. You still got to be physical. And if there's any team that's really going to test your physicality week one, I mean, who really better to go against than the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I mean, it's definitely going to be an AFC North team. That's
right.
The toughest damn division. So I'm with you. That's a good test.
And before we transition off that point, how do you think differently they'll play, if Russ or Fields start? Like how would you, if you're the defensive coordinator, game plan differently for Fields or Russell Wilson, just knowing their deficiencies as passers, what they might succeed, they might, be positive, saying how would you play it different?
Well, I think the biggest thing with Justin Fields, man, is you can't run too much man. Really, either quarterback, you don't want to run too much man because you got cornerbacks turning their head, trying to guard wide receivers, and Justin Fields going to run right behind them. So I think that would be the difference. You know, I would run a lot of different zones, try to disguise some things for Fields. I would probably keep 9 in the box, low key. You know, I would just kind of treat him like most teams treated Desmond Ridder, and just make him beat you through the air, man. You know, we even saw something similar to that last night with Kansas City's defensive game plan against Lamar. You know, a lot of times they were just bringing 4. You know, keeping their zone, right there in front. Somehow, some way, I don't know if the offensive line's bad or Kansas City's defensive line is good, but because Lamar didn't have too much time, even with 4-man rush. So, I wouldn't sell out to try to stop Justin Fields. I will make him beat me. In comparison to Russ, Russ, you have to, you really just want to put your guys in their best position, in my opinion. He's seen every damn defense. So you don't want to get caught trying to disguise too much. And, he's not flattered by it at all. So I think, again, that would just be my, we have Fields. I wouldn't play too much man, and I would make him beat me. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They said I realized that week 1, but I would love if I could dictate the turn of this game instead of the other way around. I was just about to say that with how I would scheme it. I know it's gonna be more zone heavy this year, most definitely, but I still don't want to sit back and let the quarterback get comfortable back there. Like you said, last year teams how they were playing Ridder was almost like just damn near disrespectful. Honestly, like just you're gonna have, and even to an extent, Mariota the year before, like we're gonna put 9 in the box, and you're just gonna have to pass with your 2 wide receivers out there. If Drake can't get open, we know whoever wide receiver 2 at the time is probably not gonna get open. So with Fields out there, like you said, I kind of would just do what really with both of them though. Like you said, I agree. I wouldn't play too much man with Fields out there if you don't have a spy out there. But if you do whatever you play with Fields, you have to maintain your rush lanes most definitely. Like Arnold Ebiketie, I'm talking to you. I don't want to see Kyler Murray at the fiasco again with him running around you or bad angles on the sack. Like if the edges have to just keep them in the pocket, and you don't even get the sack, just keep contained and let the interior pressure. Because I think Russell Wilson, I think he can be more affected by interior pressure with his height, his stature not being, the tallest. And then the Steelers O-line is a little bit banged up, and they're already young anyway, especially in that interior. So I think Grady, David, our interior should eat this game because that's theoretically where we're strongest at on the line anyway.
Right.
But like he said, with not letting the game, being dictated, I would be aggressive on defense if I was them. And I think kind of, stacking the box is an aggressive move because you're kind of daring the offense to throw and beat you.
Right.
Like you said, with Rush, you don't want to disguise too much because he's smart as hell. He already knows what he's really seeing. Now, Fields, on the other hand, you can get him a little bit here and there. But I would try to be aggressive and forcing turnovers with either one of them in the game. Russ might not throw you too many picks, but if you can make him hold the ball a second longer, and that might allow the pressure to get home. Are you guys concerned about some of the younger players when they know that the crowd knows, especially for either team? Is it a big what would you say the split would be for this game? Because we know Pittsburgh, they travel, but we also know, the season tickets selling out, being game 1, it's a lot of anticipation. I would say if the Falcons have to be happy with if they can get a 70-30, like that's down there kind of asking a lot, in my opinion. But if you can get like a 65-35-ish split your way, I think that's good. So what you think?
Yeah. I mean, when you said it instantly, I'm thinking 60-40. Then you mentioned the season tickets. And like you said, I might throw that extra 5% on there with you. They're definitely going to be there. They're going to be there because even the people that bought season tickets, probably a good 20%, and I'm probably lowballing it. But a good 20% of the people that had season tickets got them to resell them. So
yeah,
they don't care who bought the tickets. So again, I mean, over the past couple of seasons, it's definitely been 60-40. And that's me being nice. It may have even be 50-50. It may even be 60-40 Pittsburgh, but it's just so much anticipation. Bro, I wanted to go to this game. I mean, I'm in Jacksonville. I've been looking at tickets. I was going to surprise my mom and pull up, and I was going to vlog and do all this. But, bro, the cheapest ticket, the worst seats are $200. Well, that was at least last week when I checked. So that tells me fans are excited. Fans are willing to pay the price. And like you said, season tickets are sold out. So, I mean, I always like to be, I try to be right, so I'm going to go 65-35, bro. I think we're definitely going to show up, but I just know Pittsburgh, bro, they definitely pulling up.
Oh, for sure.
Pulling up.
He said, are you concerned about some of the younger players? I mean, like, I feel like we got the right people in the right spots, though. Like, Kirk, he doesn't care if it's a road game or home game, so he's not going to be rattled. The defense is pretty much veteran-led, like Jesse, Grady. They're at the same time, I'm in the mindset of thinking that it's still going to be home field advantage regardless. So at the end of the day, we have to play, and, that'll dictate the crowd noise. Once we end up outplaying them, then the crowd, however many percentage are there for us, will outshine how many are there for them. But I definitely think, the crowd is a big deal. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be overbearing. Now, I hope it's not. It shouldn't be overbearing to the point where they can't deal. It's still a home game. Like, oh my, that would be kind of like sad if it's like overbearing.
Well, I will say this, regardless of the percentage, bro, I do think I think it's more probable that the Steelers fans can be louder than us, even if they're outnumbered. I'm very confident that they'll probably be loud, if nothing else, just as loud as us. Like, and like, don't let them get rolling. And because Falcons fans are fickle, it don't take us much to be emotional. It could be the first quarter, and fans just give up on cheering. So, I kind of see his point though when he's talking about the crowd noise, because I mean, the past couple seasons, there's been no debate. Steelers, Chicago, Aints. I mean, they're coming into our stadium and they're deep, but it's not about them being deep, bro. They're louder than us. Like, we feel them more. So I think that is more probable than we can probably imagine. Because our fans, bro, they just don't know. They just don't have a good. And I hate to say this because obviously I'm grouping up a lot of our fans. We have a lot of knowledgeable fans, but a good majority of them that go to the games, man, they don't understand that it's okay to yell on second down. Like, it's okay. Oh, it's third down. Bro, you got to kind of stand up before it's even fully third down. Like, it's the little things that other fan bases do, and they understand, and they understand their impact. And our fan base, man, hopefully after Sunday, they can understand how much we play into the Falcons winning. When we're locked in.
I've seen Raheem kind of like put an emphasis on, earning it. They brought Matt in and he said, the fan base doesn't get the rep for being, overly like into it. But once you earn it, that's when the city gets behind you. So I think the city, like, just being from Atlanta, just knowing, I know for a fact once the Falcons get to, I think the Falcons probably got, if any team can win a Super Bowl or a championship, everybody from the city gonna say give it to the Falcons over the Hawks, over the Braves. Like, I know that for a fact. But it's the fact that the team has to win. They have to be winning. Now, is that necessarily a true fan if you have to, be hardcore for your team when they're winning? Not necessarily, but at the same time, you really can't blame somebody for not wanting to cheer for Desmond Ridder. Like, it's been some hard times. But, I think with it being the first game, Kirk Cousins, Raheem, the reason to cheer is there. Justin Simmons, Judon, you're having players see the vision in his team. So I think the fans have to do our part and see the vision of the team. And our job is to support you, like you said, be loud on first, second down. It doesn't matter if it's third down. Be loud at all times. You go to a college football game, they're loud from kickoff to the end. Like, we have to make it a home field advantage to where people don't say, oh, it's 60% Steelers fans. No, like, let's make it. Even if it was 60-40, the Falcons fans were so loud, we didn't even know it was 40% Steelers fans there. So,
right.
my boy ATL, my boy AG in here, he is a 4-time season ticket holder, so he gonna be in the building. So
okay.
he gonna tell me the forecast in there, but I already know the Steelers fans, they gonna make their way down here. But I'm just hoping, like, it go hand to hand. If the team is doing what they need to do on the field, us fans have to, hold our end of the bargain and let them feel the energy. So it'll be interesting to see. But I just really hope that we can make this a home field advantage because we have a beautiful stadium. We have a pretty good team. I can tell the owner wants it, the coach wants it, the fans want it. Like, so let's just add it on up. It's this season. We just need to add it on up together.
Yeah.
AG, let me see. We went over our offense and our defensive matchups, X factor. So what you think for our offense versus their defense, like how it's looking?
Man, first of all, happy Falcons Friday to you guys. Happy open season, man. It's about that time, man. It's about that time. As far as you said, our offense versus their defense, correct? Okay, so this is one of the X factors of the game, actually. Our offense versus their defense, because of the simple fact that the Steelers, when you hear that name, you think defense, steel curtain. That's the first thing that you think. But one element of this game that I think is missing is the fact that the Steelers have to play the Falcons. The Steelers have to line up against every single weapon that's on that offense. You have to still cover every single weapon that's on that offense. There's no doubling. You double somebody, you're gonna get burnt by somebody else. There's no doubling over the top shell coverage with Darnell Mooney because you got Drake London, who's a jump ball fanatic, and Kyle Pitts going down the seam on the linebacker. You can't just hinge on Bijan because here comes Tyler and he come run you over. That boy ready to catch bodies on the offensive side, and that's something that is overlooked a lot of the times because Tyler is that bowling ball. He is that weight carrier off the team. I do think that he's one of the ones that can help spark and keep the offensive drives going with his runs. Bijan is more of a scat back, but he still has that oomph in him that can help him keep the ball moving on early downs. I think we need to at least average 4 to 5 yards of carry in order for the offense to really open up against their defense, because we can't just say, okay, our offense versus our defense, y'all go out there and y'all do it. Y'all still have to go out there, run the ball, give some play action looks, make them guess what's going to happen, make them have to cover you. Like, force the defensive hand before the offense shows theirs.
Yeah. This is where I think, like somebody had spoke about in the comments, this is where I think we need to kind of dictate the game is when we're on offense. Like,
right,
yeah,
offense, you should never let the defense dictate what you're doing. Like, to an extent, we have to go out there, like you said, and just make them guess, make them play. And I think that's kind of the element with Kirk Cousins that we added this offseason. We can be two-dimensional. Like last year, two seasons, bro, it's just run. And if that don't work, you just out of luck. Like, we doing play action passes on 3rd and 15, bro. That's all we know. Right. That's all we know. Are you guys concerned about CP in the kicking game, the return game? I mean, this new kickoff rule kind of make it hard for me to really be scared of anybody. But I know Cordero probably going to have a little extra oomph in him trying to get, one took to the crib. But I ain't too worried about it. I'm more concerned about Arthur Smith putting Michael Pruitt at damn quarterback and but yeah, most definitely I agree with everything you said. You really can't focus in too much on one element of this offense theoretically. And then we discussed our defense against their offense. So what you like, or any X factor mismatch you see there?
Right now mismatches I see for that offense is our defensive line against their offensive line. It's a plain as day hole. It's a plain as day. Your quarterbacks ain't had time in the preseason, and we're talking about them going against 2s and 3s.
Right.
So now you want to go against Pro Bowl defensive linemen, All Pro defensive linemen that are coming in the middle. They're coming off the edge, and these are guys. We have a mini Pro Bowl guys. I'm sorry to say this, but people are scared to say what we really have going on in Atlanta, and it really irks me because it's like you can't call yourself a fan and then hide behind the fact that we got these things and say, "Oh, we got this. I'll be okay." And then when the crowd come right, oh, it's the same old Falcons. You duck back down and hide again. Nah, bro. It's a new Atlanta team, bro. Raheem has preached this over and over and over again. We were a quarterback away last year. Quarterback away. Yes. Give and take the fact that we did not have a consistent, steady pass rush or whatever you want to say. Atlanta was top 5 and top 10 in a lot of defensive categories that a lot of people overlook because it's not the flashy stats. Oh, we didn't get enough sacks last year. Oh, we didn't get enough interceptions last year. It's just like it's an unfair judgment of the team. So I do think that our defense versus their offense, the defensive line, versus their offensive line is what's going to be the mismatch because we got guys on the outside that's going to match up. We got guys in the secondary over the top. You're not throwing over Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons, bro. There's literally just enough of talent on this defense to keep that offense off the field and keep our offense on the field. Time of possession will win this game.
No, facts. And I agree. I think a lot of people are kind of scared to embrace the team. I think a lot of fans are just scared to be optimistic about their team. But I think when your team makes winning moves, like Kirk Cousins,
money making moves.
Yeah, like you bring in Simmons, you bring in Judon. Those are moves to be excited about. Like, there's nothing wrong about thinking that those moves improve your team. And like Raheem says, I like the fact that we have a coach that admits that I see a championship vision if we can get the quarterback position. Like, I don't want him to come in here and say, "Oh, we can win a division but get put out in the first round." Like, nah, and I believe he really believes that. And if he believes it, guess what? The players believe it.
Yep.
Players believe it. They can definitely go out there and do it because at the end of the day, it just takes one Sunday to change the outcome of the season, or it take one playoff game. You know, you got to take it one step at a time. Because, like he said, once you get in the playoffs, but Raheem said, you don't know what the fuck can happen.
You really don't. You really don't know what can happen, bro. It's really one of those things where you have to really like sit back and let them do their job, bro. We can't sit there and do their job for them, bro. We can't sit here and overanalyze a team that didn't even play their starters in the preseason because we were doing what? Building depth behind the starters that we knew were going to be on this team. That's not it's no more comparing this year to last year. The book is closed and the page is turned. It's a whole new book, whole new script, whole new everything that's going on in Atlanta. We got a lot to be excited for, guys.
Facts. They said, put it this way, somehow the Falcons have become a villain team as a Marq of their history they have. Funny. That's what I don't understand. Why y'all on us so bad? We ain't
did nothing to y'all, bud.
We already going through it enough as fans, and y'all just love to poop on our team. But it's because we the laughing stock of the league. Like, we're an easy target. And like you said, once the Falcons get the ball rolling, I knew once they added this. No, you didn't, because you wanted us to hire Belichick and you wanted us to not draft him. Laughed at us for the whole offseason.
Man, what? Said Terry wasn't going to do nothing, fire Terry. Like, bro, all the folks that said fire Terry, I know they eating their words right now. With them two guys sitting behind JC, I guarantee you're not going to be saying not a word this whole season.
One of the greatest 48-hour stretches of my life, boy, when he pulled them moves all right there, boy.
Man, what?
Yeah. As far as game predictions, Marq, even individual stats from anybody on our team or in Pittsburgh, and just your general, give me a score range or what you think about this game, win-loss wise.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about the Falcons winning it. Get to open up at the crib, going against a former coach. They don't know what the hell they want to do with the quarterback. So I feel good. I think it's going to be lower scoring though. I don't think we'll be able to put everything together. I mean, we're playing a good defense. We're playing a team that wants to run the ball. So I don't think it's going to be like a 20-14 type of game, somewhere in there. I think we're going to win, and they might be able to, score late. But I think we'll be able to do enough early, and, they won't be able to get points. They'll be able to maybe milk some clock. Maybe they won't have 3 and outs. But I mean, like AG said, like, I don't see them getting any really big chunk plays. And I doubt they about to just, walk us down the field. Like, God dang. Like, so to me, that kind of is, like I said, it adds up to some type of low scoring game where the Falcons win comfortably. So like I said, I'm gonna say like 20 to shoot, let's say 21-13. They get a touchdown and a couple field goals.
What you think, Jizzle?
Well, hey, so I've been on the confidential horse all season. I have not spared anyone. I've had my predictions of who we should get, when we should get. Like, I got receipts, y'all. I'm tired of everybody doubting this team. We're gonna put up at least 30 points on these guys. I feel like that offense is just a little bit too much, and it's gonna be like the Georgia versus Clemson game. Not as far as the score wise, but the game might start off tight. But those guys go in the locker room. If they're down, the captains are stepping in. If they're up, Coach Raheem is just coaching them on to go to the next level. Second half, we wake up, we're fine-tuning everything that we did in the first half already. I think it maybe turns into a 30-14 or 30-20, something like that. But I don't really see our defense letting up more than like 10 to 13 points, honestly, bro. Just being honest with the fact that we already had a stout rush defense. The pass defense is what we were worried about. AJ Terrell can now play corner free. He doesn't have to worry about his back being tarnished by Richie Grant or tarnished by somebody that's inexperienced behind him. He has 2 veteran.
I think your audio cut out.
There
we go.
It also goes to show that you can't really say that this is going to be a complete blowout, because we have the optimism of we don't know what each team is going to do, but we do have a picture, an idea of what the Steelers have been already. They've had to adjust a lot. They're unsure, publicly unsure. He like Mike Tomlin is a leader of men as well as Raheem. He came from history as well. And with him coming from his tree, I think it's like one of those things where it's like I brought you up in this, but now you beat me in this. Like the teacher and the student, you know what I'm saying? So now Raheem has no choice but to go ahead and show what he's learned. Like, this is just one of those games where it's like it's a lot put on this game, but it's not pressured from the fans that know that it takes time to build chemistry. But it's pressure on this game because of who Raheem is, what position he holds, what he looks like, and what the lifespan of coaches that look like him in the league looks like. You got one chance. You got really one chance, if you want to be real, one chance to mess up. You screw this up, I'm not even going to put you on the face of the franchise no more. You're going to be on the back burner. But this is one of them games, bro. 30-20. I give you 30-20.
I like it. Hey, I'm kind of in the middle of in between like both of y'all predictions, because I agree with both of y'all as far as they target score. Like, I'm struggling to get them 20 points. Like you said, I don't see them walking us down the field. Like, they may have those long drives, but I'm seeing them stalling out field goal, like a couple 4th down attempts. Maybe you complete like 33% of them, so you're really not converting them that well. I don't see where they necessarily attack us like you said, it is week 1. I'm just picturing off what I think we can do well. I think we can be a good run stuffing team. I know Arthur Smith wants to run the ball, so I'm trying to figure in what world does he turn into a passing guru. And then the quarterbacks that he has, like, they don't operate on time. They don't operate on schedule. So it's going to come down to the backyard football antics. And like me and Mark kind of already broke down, Troy Anderson is supposed to be that spy. He's supposed to be that guy that can stop all of that. And then, with Judon on the edge and then the interior pressure, it should be limited. And then I'm looking at their receivers. I don't, besides Pickens, like we already said, put AJ on Pickens and, you can give them safety help or you can, see how it's going. But I feel confident, like, I'm putting you on Pickens and I can live with whatever going on with that. That's my best corner. I'm putting him on your best receiver. So I see the 13-ish for them. Like I don't see, and I'm being nice giving them 13, to be honest with you. As far as us,
we really being nice giving them any points, bro. Because
yeah, like I know who y'all got at coordinator, bro. Like we got a point. I don't care what nobody say. If the Falcons don't have a point to prove against Arthur Smith, like I don't like our team. I think it should be a point of emphasis on like really smacking the Steelers for real, in my opinion.
So okay, so question for both of y'all. It's like this. Forget the fact that he's coming back to Atlanta. Forget the fact that he's even coaching right now because he got picked up last minute because there was nobody else left to pick up. You feel what I'm saying? What do y'all think about the so-called we're going to hang a 40 ball on them?
I feel like that in itself is ignorant because, nigga, I'm sorry. Bro, you ain't even dropped 40 for us. So how you going to drop 40 on us? Like,
Exactly.
And he always trying to be passive aggressive like he does. Oh, I didn't say it directly, but it would be nice to. Okay, so you basically said it because where the headline come from?
Right.
Right.
So I just feel like go ahead and give us the bulletin board material. Go ahead, please. But I'm gonna let you go what you think on that, Mark. And I'm gonna say 23-13ish. Like, I feel like that's a good range.
Yeah.
If it's clicking and take away here or there and plus territory for us, I can definitely see a 30 ball. But if they come out scoring 30 first of the week, I ain't gonna lie, everybody gonna be on fire about this offense because you just dropped 30 in the first week.
Yeah.
But I would say 23-13. 23-13, I think that's a good margin of victory. But I'm gonna still pay respect to their defense. But what you think about them comments, Mark, as far as Arthur Smith?
Yeah. I find it hard to believe that they'll score 40 at all this season, but again, man, it's just so much unknown, bro. Like that's the only thing about Arthur Smith. Like as much as I disliked him, I really, really don't think he was that bad. He just believed he was just a bad head coach. It was just too much for him, and he shouldn't have had that much control over the quarterback. Now that I think he has two quarterbacks that should be better than really any quarterback he's ever had in his career, I think he's good enough, bro. Like
Breaking news.
Like
what happened?
It's Justin Fields who's going to be starting on Sunday.
I just said that.
Yep.
Wow. So it's funny. I said that all summer, bro. I said I do not know who's going to be QB1. Everyone kept saying Russ.
Shuffling cards.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, I don't think
that just lowered their chances of winning even more because you know why? Like, and I'm going to cut you off, Mark, but like.
Oh, you good.
So think about this. Justin Fields was there at 4. Arthur Smith said, "I want Kyle Pitts." You got the quarterback that you said you didn't want. And you got to be friends with him now to get this offense going. We already know he can run. Matthew Judon's his highlights have a lot of Justin Fields in them, and Justin Simmons got some Justin Fields in him too. So I mean, it's time to feast. They don't know what they're doing, bro. This is like sending a little kid out there to go play with some teenagers that's in high school, bro.
I feel like it's gonna come down to ball security for him.
Yep.
And I think he might press. He's gonna be pressing, in my opinion.
That defensive line is gonna be pressure in the middle, bro. If you got Zach Harrison rushing the middle, or you got Grady Jarrett rushing the middle, Eddie Goldman rushing the middle. You got bruh. Rook a roll. Don't be, bruh. Come on, man. This is hey, run up, baby.
Yeah, but to me, I gotta change my score now.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just don't. All right, so here's my thing, because we were just talking about this. I don't think Arthur Smith's that bad. I don't think Justin Fields is that bad.
Right.
Like I think it's the same thing with Caleb McGarry. It's the same thing. Like sometimes narratives are attached to players, and it's kind of hard for them to be shooken off.
Yeah.
I just don't know, bro. I just don't know what feels now. Especially since they're announcing it Friday. We haven't practiced. I'm pretty sure our last practice was today. Yep. So I mean, I know we've been preparing for them, but still, we saw this. And again, I know, AG saying it's a new team, but at the same time, you are who you are. And we saw the Falcons struggle with Joshua Dobbs that joined the team.
Yep.
The week before, the same week, less than 4 or 5 days. So I think that element added to it may go towards Arthur Smith's advantage. But I don't want to be that guy that talks all this cash about Arthur Smith, and then as soon as I talk all this shit,
he finally knows how to
come around. That's what I'm saying. Like he like, oh yeah, I learned so much from Atlanta. I learned so much from that experience. So it's just too much unknown. Just like Justin Fields is new, Kirk Cousins is new, Jack Robinson is new. So I'm gonna say,
would you rather a new veteran or would you rather a new, like, maybe 3-4 year player that was in a broken system? He was in a broken system for like his first 3 years though.
But Justin Fields ain't. That's what I'm saying. Just how we say, oh well, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, they didn't have a quarterback. Well, shit. Justin Fields didn't have a wide receiver.
Right.
He didn't have an offensive line. He didn't have an offensive coordinator. Like, so it's like that. That's just how I look at the game. I try to be as unbiased as I can.
As you should.
There's so much that there's so much going on week one. I feel like this is a very challenging game. And when we talked about pressure, that's a lot of pressure on this Falcons team, man. You got all these new shiny things, and it's like, you want to talk about pressing. Maybe Kurt's gonna be pressed. He coming off an injury, and he wants to show that he was the right guy. And you got Michael Penix sitting there with the do-rag on the bench. There's so much that I'm gonna just say this. I'm going from 20-13 to 20 to, or 21-13 to 2017 Falcons. I think we'll win it.
We can cover the spread. We cover the spread.
Well, no, the spread 3, ain't it?
Yeah, spread 3. Yeah.
3.5 now. But it's probably gonna change now that Fields is starting. So I think it was around 3.5.
Oh, okay.
So 2017, we be right at it. But I mean, I think I agree with your take on the fact that Fields' led offense would theoretically be more explosive.
Yeah.
Same time, it's still the same O-line, still the same play caller. And I still can say he don't really have the weapons that he would like. I mean, shit, look at what Caleb Williams got where you just came from. So you definitely don't have that.
Yeah.
You got Pickens. And if he want to try to throw at AJ all game, that's on him. Like, I can live with whatever AJ decides to do. Now, the like we said, the rushing factor of it is what's gonna have to be different. Now you can't, like you said, you have to limit his run. Because he can run literally for 70 yards, touchdown on you. He has big play ability. So now, but I would just hope the team has already, I'm pretty sure they've already prepared for both. Like, I know they wasn't that dumb to think that.
They probably prepared for Fields first.
But it's hard to prepare for that. It's hard to say you prepare for something like that until you actually see it.
Exactly.
Especially when he burnt us last year. So it's like, well, shoot, last year we prepared for him, So again, I it's a bad habit. I think AG mentioned that. It's a bad habit. This is a new team. It's a lot of new stuff. But man, it's hard to forget that stuff as someone that's observed this team for so long, man. We just and I think this is more the point than anything. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is that we play against.
Yeah,
they're average. Like guys that are bad to terrible look average against us, and that scares me this week.
That's what has to change. That's what has to be the element. But that's another thing too, though. So sometimes I coach rec league football, 13 and 14U at Sandtown Park. So one thing I notice is when the intensity of coaching is elevated, players are easily motivated, it brings out the best in them in the end. I don't think Arthur Smith wanted to connect with the players as much as Raheem is already a people's like Raheem's coming home. Like, you got to think about how comfortable he is and how confident he is with what he know and what he's stolen from Los Angeles, bro. Like, not saying like don't give Pittsburgh no credit at all, but we still got to give ourselves a little bit more credit because, hey, this is going to be a new scheme that ain't nobody seen. So, if anything, we got the upper hand in the matchup because, hey, we've been practicing this on the low. We ain't putting no starters in the preseason for a reason. Them boys have been practicing hard behind the scenes so that they can get those breaks and sit there and watch the guys they need to be playing. And, like, I think with it being everything being so new, okay, when you first get a new car, you want everybody to see you in your new car, right? You want them to see that you got a sunroof, that you got the heated seats, you got the cooling seats, you got the CD player, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And we got all the gadgets and gadgets. But I think with them being as humble as they are as a squad together and knowing that they're all working towards one common goal, Raheem got them boys in line mentally to not psych themselves out. I think we were psyched out of our minds. Like there was no comfortability with the coaching, so it always felt like nobody knew what they were doing or nobody knew what was going on. These guys they seem like they got a whole monkey lift off to their back. But interview after interview, I can tell the difference between Coach Raheem and Coach Arthur being there. The guys are more like robots when Coach Arthur was there. This year, you got guys laughing, joking, and saying how comfortable they are. And everybody has said what type of guy Raheem is every single time. They never failed to mention it. They never failed to say he has us motivated. Hell, I would have been motivated from his first damn speech. I watched that video. I wanted to go run through a wall for him, bro. I'm like, bro, I'll do it so we can win that championship, bro. Let's do it.
Nah, facts. I just think it's gonna kind of revolve back to complimentary football, though, and then we just wrap it up from there. But I think with, like you said, Mark, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they 4 points better with Fields in there, but at the same time, I still struggle to give them that 20-point mark at the same, like even with Fields in there. But I do think it may be a little bit more, hey, offense, we might need a little bit more of you to score, time.
That's where my 30 came from. Cause we gotta be aggressive on offense. We can't we gotta take time of possession. You gotta use your weapons going down the field. Cause you're gonna have a mismatch on every damn play, bro. Excuse my language, bro. There's gonna be a matchup on every play, bro. Like somebody's gonna be one-on-one that's not supposed to be one-on-one. And if Kirk sees it with his elite processing, you're done. You're cooked.
Not fast. We definitely gonna have to put the ball in the end zone. So what I say, 23-13 at first. I mean, I'll give them 16 now. I still say around 24-16, but I say we got that 30 possibility. But I think 23, I think that 20 to 24 range for us should be enough. But they definitely gonna have to make Fields think. And I think that's the biggest thing with him. He's slow to process. That's been a lot for him. So it's about getting pressure, stopping the run, containing him in the pocket. And then once you get into those third and obvious situations, show him something different. Try to And I think you can get a few turnovers, or if
Yep.
not a few turnovers, a few extra hitches on his
Sacks.
drop back, and then those lead into coverage sacks. But with that being said, we all have predicted the Falcons win, of course, this week 1. I don't really say it's a must-win game, but I think it's a game that they should win, in my opinion. Like I don't really see where the Steelers clear cut just over us in any element of this game, in my opinion. I think the Falcons hold every advantage in this game, especially being at home. Like Mark said in the beginning, though, with it being just week 1, the most unknown week, you really don't know who you are the first couple weeks. Nope. And that's why I'm not really, on that 30 ball wave right about now. I need to see this offense, see what it look like. Because like you said, Kirk hasn't played, it's new. I'm still going to pay respect to that Steelers defense and Mike Tomlin because I know they're going to be ready. I know they're going to be physical. But at the same time, we have to come out and be what all this anticipation has said we're going to be. So it'll be an interesting game. Mark, anything you want to add on before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that, this is obviously a great opening week, man. Great test for us. It's a great treat for the fans. There's so many storylines. Justin Fields now gets his homecoming, gets to come to Atlanta. He already beat us once, so now he gets if there's a team you should have confidence against, it should be us. So it's, this is such a great game. And I think just the point that it may benefit us in the long run is that fact that we're playing this type of team and it's a Mike Tomlin coach team. So hopefully they don't underestimate, like you said, they pay their respect. They play this team straight up. And I think the word of the day is just respect, man. Hey, respect Arthur Smith, respect Mike Tomlin, respect Justin Fields. If we do those things, we should easily win. But we've seen this Falcons team. Well, I don't know where it starts or where it comes. Maybe it's the fans. Maybe it's the energy we give off. But we go and respect this team. We go out there as a fan base and respect what Terry Fontenot's put together. I mean, I think we should be able to win this game, and this should be a game that gives us momentum. Because, again, regardless of what we think about Arthur Smith or Justin Fields or their offensive line, they still got Mike Tomlin. And that man's made the playoffs every dang year.
Yeah.
So and we haven't made the playoffs in 6 years? And we have confidence over that coach. I just don't think that's wise. But luckily, like I think one of y'all said, JC or AG, luckily for us, all we got to do is sit back, observe, spectate, and let these guys do their job, man.
Yep.
And enjoy the show. So, like I said, man, this is such a great opener, man.
Yeah. What you think, AG? To wrap it up, final thoughts about this matchup.
Man, my final thoughts on this one has got to be win, no matter what, playing to win, no matter who is quarterback. Because shoot, they could say, "Oh, he's gonna start now," and then we're gonna play Russell, and next thing you know, it's another storyline. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we kind of know what to expect with these guys. Expect a lot of gadget plays on the offensive side because of their lack of offensive continuity. Defense, stay sound, and you know what I'm saying? All 11 got to be to the ball. It can't be a one-man effort or depending on one person to do their job like that. You know what I'm saying? Because on defense, pursuit is everything. So I think as long as we have good gap integrity as far as defensive line and we keep the rushing lanes not as far as clear, but contained so that if he does decide to run, you got to decide, do I want to get hit by this big lineman and get 2 yards, or do I want to throw the ball away and go to the next down? And all of the negative plays that we can create will come off of pressures, rush throws, and I think the rush throws is going to come from the defensive line, of course, and it'll be from the rotation that we have. Like, you got a group of veterans, you got a group of young guys coming in, and they all bring something different to the table. It's not like you just got a whole bunch of big dudes that that's fast. You got some big dudes. You got some small dudes. You got some dudes that's arm length tall, and you got guys that's just tall in general over the lineman. Um, it'll also come down to, like I said earlier, the fan base. Like, bro, we have to support our team. We cannot go out there and expect our team to feed off of nothing, no energy. But like I've played football before, so playing football is like you feed off of that crowd energy, and it's like when they hype, you hype. When they feel like it's time to turn up and go to war, that's what it's gonna feel like in the stadium. And I know good and well, I just don't want to be in the middle of a swag surf and have to not swag surf, bro, because I'm disappointed in what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? So I know me with the confidence and the results that I've seen, transaction wise and preseason wise and practice wise, open practice wise. I like what I'm seeing, and it's a extra kick in the gear of in the right direction for us as a team, because last year I could kind of tell that Ritter was thrown into a lot of situations where it was like just do the offense like I'm telling you to or else. And it's like he needed those catered plays that they supposed to give rookies when they have to play. Like, we're gonna cater to what you do best, and that's gonna be it, because we're not gonna force you to make 3-step decisions when you can barely make one. Like, that's that's just one of them things, man. You gotta spoon feed some players, man. It doesn't even matter what level they are now.
Hey, I agree wholeheartedly. And just from watching the game last night, the excitement of football being back, I just know it's gonna be times 10 with it being Falcons football. And like you said,
Mhm.
Mark, it's damn near like, we don't really have history with Steelers. It's not a divisional rival, but it's damn near like the perfect week one matchup to me, in my opinion, because it's a well-respected franchise. It's a measuring stick franchise. The head coach. It's just the fans are going to travel, so it's going to be an electric atmosphere. It's just a game that you want to you get respect for beating the Steelers. What I'm basically trying to wrap around to. Like, it's not like you playing the Panthers or anybody. If you want to get national media respect in the right way, because the attention we've been getting this offseason sometimes may not have been the right attention, but
Right.
beat the Steelers week one at home and make a point. Do it in an emphatic way. I guarantee you'll get a few headlines, especially having the two primetime games the next 2 weeks.
Coming up, yeah, exactly.
And this is damn near a primetime game to me, in my opinion, because like you said, the matchup, it being week one,
Game of the week.
like this
like it.
It's a hype for week one. It's just anticipation, but it's like it's different from the last couple of seasons we've been having, because we actually have reasons to be optimistic
We
about it.
have it. Thank you, bro. We have reasons, bro. There's
I feel like the
reasons.
only thing left for it really to be is for the team to go out there and do what they need to do. Like, that's the only thing left. We've talked about the draft.
Last
We
step.
talked about
Sit
everything.
back and relax and watch the show, guys.
Well,
Tell you.
it's us as content creators. It's just time to sit back and see, are we everything we talked about gonna come to fruition. And that's it at this point. Like,
Yep.
it's basically about to be Saturday. No more practice. Like, next time we see him is on the field hitting. I don't want to
We
hear
darn near Mooney days away, man.
I don't want to hear no preseason. Like, this is the real thing. So I think both of y'all, what y'all saying though, is basically like you got to go out there and kind of break that curse of being the Falcons. Like, we're all confident about this game, but it's like that ghost in the back. You're still the Falcons. You're still the Falcons.
Right.
Trying to hold us back from thinking that this team can do what they need to do. And then on the flip side of the hand, it's like we kind of not looking at the Steelers like that, but it's like you said, Mark, you got to pay them that respect, because at the end of the day, it's that voice saying to you that those are still the Steelers. Like, they're still Pittsburgh. So I think if you pay your opponent the necessary, appropriate respect, but you still got to go out there like, hey, we finna step on them. Like, we respect our opponents, but we got a point to prove. Like, we're not gonna bow down to nobody.
Yep.
So I think if they can just handle business, and this is a handle business type of game to me, you don't have to do too much to beat the Steelers, in my opinion. Just don't make the stupid mistakes that they made last year, and just like I keep saying, 20 points is that mark for me. I think if you can get past 20 in this game, you should be good. But with all that being said, definitely glad we got to get on here on this lovely Falcons Friday and talk this first matchup. Marq, I definitely appreciate you for joining us on here.
Appreciate that.
You definitely go ahead and let folks know where to find you at so they can tune in to you as well.
Hey, well, like I said, man, appreciate you having me, man, especially week 1. I play it's a good way to set the tone, man. You know, I've already told you, hey, y'all doing the damn thing, man. So y'all should be proud. Like, y'all know ball, you know, y'all talk ball, and we finally made it. So, like I said, appreciate you having me. Appreciate you, AG, for popping in. Everybody watching. My name is Marq Chaney. Y'all can find me on YouTube at Marq Chaney right there. Hey, and it's just so crazy. It's like you wait for Christmas. You know, you wrote everything on your list. You wrote everything on your list, bro. And you like, bro.
We got it. You see all the outlines of everything that you asked for in the wrapping paper, bro. It's time to unwrap it on Christmas Day, man.
It's time to unwrap it, bro. Like, it's right there. And we at the crib. Yeah. Like, bro, especially you gonna be there, bro. I'm so jealous, dog. Wait. No, matter of fact, you don't have an extra ticket, do you?
But hey, man, I wish I had an extra ticket. I literally just sold my homeboy my extra ticket, bro. But I'm in every game, and I can definitely work out a deal with you because I know I'm probably gonna miss the Dallas game for one of my homeboys' weddings, so we can talk about that for sure.
I appreciate it.
Section 201 fans, y'all can come find me.
201?
Yes, sir.
Shoot, I think my people in like 213 or 211.
They on my side. So, they still on my side.
Well, so what? You only had tickets since we got to the stadium.
I've been a season ticket holder for 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've seen everything, bro. From the last year of Matt Ryan to Marcus Mariota to Desmond Ridder and now Kirk Cousins.
Don't forget Heineke.
Right.
Hey, I'm sorry, I forgot to drink my Heineken.
But y'all definitely make sure y'all check Marq out, man. Like I said, I have collaborated him twice on his channel, but this is his first time over here with us. So I definitely appreciate him coming on. I'm gonna try to make sure we get somebody different every Friday, but it's gonna be, don't quote me, but I'll make sure I get somebody on here next week, or Marq might pop back in again. Hell, and we gonna try to stay to our schedule. I think it was Wednesday, Tuesdays we do like a little pre-cap for every game, and then you saw it. Well, that was the division thing we did, but just trying to stay consistent with the schedule. That's really about it, so we can keep growing the channel. AG, definitely appreciate you for tapping in. Like you, Marq, I am jealous that I'm not going to that first game. I ain't gonna lie, but I got to make it to that Chiefs game. If I'm gonna make it to one, I definitely got to go see Mahomes Sunday night. So,
that's gonna be a barn burner too, bro.
So I'm gonna sacrifice this game. I'm gonna go my mom's house because my grandma's a Steelers fan, so I'm gonna talk shit to her.
Yes, sir. Hold it down, JC.
That'll be my hold it down at home. Let my boy AG hold it down the Benz. But hey, man, I definitely appreciate all the viewers tapping in. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe so y'all can stay tuned in with everything we do. If y'all got social media, y'all see them down at the bottom. We have Instagram and Twitter, so y'all definitely can lock in with us there. And until next time, man, y'all folks stay safe. Oh, I definitely want to say send remarks to the high school, the people that's grieving, the families. I definitely want to say it definitely slipped my mind, but I definitely want to send remarks there. Definitely long live Rich Homie, bro. I'm mad that happened too, so I definitely got to send my regards there.
Yeah.
I hate to end on that sour note, but I'm about to go watch this Eagles-Packers game, see what they look like.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, y'all folks stay safe. Thank y'all for joining us. And we'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.